Well, Pokemon Poketopia is out, and it's safe to say the whole world loves this thing because I can't find it anywhere. Yeah, I decided to finally pick the thing up, and it's literally sold out at every store ever, including Amazon, that's now charging $80 for it for some reason. What is going on? Now, I just started my personal playthrough, but the way people are talking about this game right now makes it seem like it's one of the greatest games Nintendo's released in a very long time. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I enjoy my playthrough and, you know, my experiences with the game. As somebody that's not really a big fan of life sim games, I'm hoping I find some enjoyment out of this more than I did Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm sorry. That game bored me to death. But the point is, Poketopia is now out, which means Nintendo only has 2 more games in their lineup, at least with release dates. We have Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition coming out at the end of the month on March 26th, but this is an old game. Yes, it's an old game getting some new content, mostly multiplayer, but this is a game that came out in 2023, so it's not super exciting for me and probably not for a lot of people. And then we have another live sim game with Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. That comes out on April 16th, but this time, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream is literally just a Switch 1 game that you could also play on Switch 2, so that means Nintendo only has one Switch 2 title with a release date right now. Now, of course, it's always Pokemon getting massive sales on Nintendo platforms because it's Pokemon, but at the same time, I feel like Pokemon is absolutely running the Switch 2 hype right now, with Gen 10 actually looking real promising and Pokemon Poketopia being a huge title for Nintendo so far to start the year. It's all Pokemon right now. So looking at this, naturally, I am expecting a Nintendo Direct to happen any week now. I've seen some people thinking that they're going to wait until June, and I just don't see how this could be a possibility. Unless Nintendo just comes out with tons of shadow drops and they just decide to skip all trailers altogether, that very well could happen. I mean, this week they could come out and say, here's some information on Yoshi and Splatoon and even Fire Emblem, and that's all you need. You know what I mean? You don't need an actual Direct. But that's the exact reason why I feel like this would be a perfect time for one. A possibility for this to be one of the better Directs we've had in a while, because there's so many games that we don't know anything about. Obviously, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which is a game I would expect be coming, you know, in the next couple of months. It seemed like a spring title. I mean, it was announced to be a spring title, so where is this game at? I feel like they should be talking about this in detail. There's also 2 pretty big titles that I'm waiting for more information about, like Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave and Splatoon Raiders. Now, Fire Emblem really doesn't have any information besides it's coming this year, so I feel like this having a big segment in the upcoming Nintendo Direct would be a pretty big deal, to be honest, so I'm definitely looking for more information about this one. But without a doubt, Splatoon Raiders is the one I care about the most, absolutely, because this game looks like it's going to have the most potential. Being an awesome single-player adventure spin-off game for the Splatoon franchise, I just want to know what this game is going to be about. What's the gameplay going to be like? Like, we desperately need to see something. This game was announced back in the summer of last year, and they just pretty much gone dark about this game. We don't even know for sure if it's launching this year. I mean, they just said in the future it was in development, so I'm hoping that it's coming this year. I feel like it would fill the schedule up really nicely, but we're just gonna have to wait and see, and I think a Nintendo Direct could be a great place to actually get some information about this thing. Now, I know this isn't gonna be a huge one for a lot of people the way it is for me. As a huge Rhythm Heaven fan, I can't wait to play this game and even learn some more information about it. It was announced at the beginning of last year, so we're approaching a year since announcement for a Rhythm Heaven game, and we don't have a release date, which is pretty strange, but this is also a Switch 1 game, so it's not gonna be a heavy hitter in Nintendo's lineup regardless. But Nintendo definitely has games coming out, we just don't have dates. So there is a high potential they could just drop release dates on Twitter and say, hey, remember that Yoshi game we showed a little bit of? That's coming out literally in 2 months. They can definitely do that. Now, the rumors online claim that this month could be the month of a Nintendo Direct, and I've even seen some people and some whispers online talking about how this week could be it as well. They decided to announce their Mario Day plans last week for some reason, which is strange, but it was just some deals and some NSO drops. Some really strange NSO drops. And people think that this could be because Nintendo is planning something bigger this week. Maybe there's a Nintendo Direct this week. Maybe there's a bigger Mario announcement this week. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm sorry. But no, personally, I think there's no way they can wait until June. It just wouldn't make sense. This is year 2 of their brand new console, and they're already going to have a massive gap in their schedule with no upcoming release dates. Because after Tomodachi Life, there's literally nothing else coming. Now, like I just previously said, there's a good chance Nintendo could just say, here's some release dates, slap them on Twitter, and call it a day, and nope, there's your Nintendo Direct. Now, what makes this even wilder is Nintendo hasn't announced anything for the holiday season so far. For instance, Pokemon Wind and Waves isn't coming until 2027, so that leaves a huge gap in the holiday season for something big from Nintendo. But what's going to be there? What big game has Nintendo been holding off on for so long, and it's also replacing the big Pokemon game for this year? Well, that's something that they had to announce soon because we're getting further on in the year. It's already March and we don't know pretty much anything that's coming after April. And we only have one more Switch 2 title on the way, and it's just a Switch 2 edition. Now, you know it's not a Nintendo Land video unless I talk about my boy. A lot of people are feeling like this is the year for 3D Mario, which is strange because normally it's just me that always feels this way every year for the last 10 years. But it's like the entire world feels like it's time now for this holiday season, which would be great, but if that's so, Nintendo has to announce it soon. The account Super Mario Bros. Revisioned on Twitter actually posted a little thread of the time frame from when a 3D Mario was revealed until its release. Now, the average is around 300 days. There's been some exceptions, with Super Mario 64 being on the lower end with 215 days, Super Mario 64 DS being only 194 days until release, and Bowser's Fury being the least amount of days with only 162 days between reveal and release. So between right now to the end of October, there's only 236 days left, and I did the end of October because this is pretty much the time frame when the holiday season is over. If there's not a big game release between September and October, odds are there's nothing else coming for the rest of the year. So I think we're in a good time frame to get this thing revealed in the next month or so, or whatever the big holiday game is going to be instead. Plus, on top of that, we have Zelda's anniversary to talk about because Nintendo hasn't done anything for it yet. Now, a big reason for this is simply probably because it's still Mario Celebration. Until the end of March is going to be Mario Celebration, and unfortunately, I think that's the exact reason why we're probably not going to get a Direct yet, simply because of this Mario movie. I mean, this is like the third Nintendo Direct we're having for the thing. I feel like we know so much about it already. We just need details on the games now and the future of the Switch 2. So a couple of weeks ago, this is the lineup that I made for 2026, but obviously Pokemon Win in Waves didn't happen, and that was shot over until 2027. But I'm still pretty confident with the rest of this schedule. I think if Yoshi does hit its springtime slot with May, then you could easily have Splatoon Raiders and Fire Emblem in the summer, followed by something smaller like Rhythm Heaven Groove in August in the fall area, and then in the winter season, in that holiday time slot, you can go absolutely crazy with Zelda's 40th anniversary, a big game for that one, like a big remake, a remaster, and obviously your 3D Mario game. And I feel like with that, you have a pretty solid 2026. So right now, I say let's just enjoy the last Direct for the Mario Galaxy movie, and then we'll probably be getting some information shortly after that. Whether it be this week or next week, I'm not entirely sure. I personally don't think Nintendo's going to have two presentations or two big events in 1 week. I'd be surprised. I mean, it could happen. Who knows? It's Nintendo now. They're on a completely different wave than they used to be. So we could end up getting a big Mario Galaxy movie Direct today and maybe a big video game Direct by the end of the week. Who knows? But I'd say the Nintendo Direct is probably going to be between now and the middle of April. And if we don't see anything by the middle of April still, I think it might be time to start wondering what the heck is Nintendo doing. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying Pokemon Poketopia and that you enjoy the final trailer for the Mario Galaxy Movie Direct. Of course, I'll be covering it all here, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you later for the Movie Direct. See you guys.